Hi everybody, it's Jeannie from Gardening Jones. I want to talk to you today about scapes, how to harvest them, why you should harvest them, and what to do with them when you harvest them. The reason why you should harvest them, well, there's two reasons. One is because they're edible, and the second reason is because when the plant is putting its energy into producing a scape, it's not putting its energy into making the bulbs bigger, and you really do want the bulbs to be bigger. The scape is a way for it to reproduce itself, so it's going to do that. That's what plants care about. That's all they care about, is reproducing themselves. So you're going to want to get the scapes out of there so the plant puts its energy into the bulbs. There's a couple different ways you can do it, and there's one way you really should not do it. So let me get this camera turned around and show you what I'm talking about. Here we have, kind of up close and personal, a garlic scape, and you can see it goes right down into the plant, and you can feel it. It's going all the way down in there. What you don't want to do is just pull it out. If you just pull it, it will leave an opening in the plant that disease can get in, bacteria can get in, bugs can get in, whatever. So what you're going to do is get either, and I have both here, a clippers if you're so inclined, or a knife, which is my preference. This is my favorite knife, and I like to use that instead. And of course, you need a container to put them in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this right about here, leaving about this much. You can see there's fluid coming out of there already. If you don't like the smell of garlic, which I have no problem with, you might want to wear gloves or something because it is liquidy. But I am going to go, and you can see it there as well, I'm going to go around and do all of these scapes one at a time. And don't need the leaves. So I'm not done harvesting, but I wanted to show you some of the scapes. The bucket's pretty full, so I'll take a break and take care of these first. And I want to show you the difference. So we're going to dehydrate ours, which I will show you. But you might want to cook with them fresh, and you'll see these especially, the coils are pretty tight. These are young scapes, younger. As the scape gets larger, if you don't take it off, it starts to stretch out more, like here, like these two, and eventually it would stand up straight. The older they get, the more fibrous, I guess would be the word, they would get chewy. So if you're going to eat some fresh, go for the littler ones, and if you're going to dehydrate, you can dehydrate them all, but certainly the bigger ones are more a candidate for dehydration. They're so cool. I just think they're so cool looking. But anyway, you can see again, here's a very young one. Here's a very young one. And these are, see that? These are a little bit older, not too bad. It's not imperative that you get all your scapes off the moment you first see them. They start showing up about a month before you're going to be harvesting your garlic. So we're at the end of June. We usually harvest the garlic early in August, so it's about a month. We're getting there. The longer you leave it on, though, the longer you leave it on, the more it's going to take away from the developing garlic bulb, and since that's really what you're aiming for, you're going to want to get them off ASAP. This is not all of them. I will have to go out again, but since the bucket's full, I'm going to go and clean these up, get them ready for the dehydrator, and I will show you that process. It really is just a matter of himself chopping them up and then putting them in the dehydrator on a screen, because you know that gets all the moisture taken out and they'll get much smaller. And then you can either store them in a jar, or you can ground it up and make all of your scape powder at once. It will taste very much like garlic powder, but significantly lighter tasting, like the difference between a scallion and a bulb onion, so it'd be much lighter. So you can either add more, or if you're just going for a little extra garlic flavor, you can do it that way. But why waste? You got free stuff here, and it's actually better for the plant to take care of it. So go on to the dehydrating part. So we're getting ready to dehydrate the scapes, garlic scapes. This is one of the trays from my dehydrator. I happen to have an Excalibur brand, but there's a lot of good brands out there. The screens are removable and washable. I have no affiliation with them. I just happen to have bought that brand. I like these screens because a lot of stuff we chop really small, and when it loses the water, and some things are like over 90% water, they can get very tiny, so this is what I'll be using. Here's some of the scapes. I'm just going to cut them into about maybe 3-inch pieces. Just something like that. When we make our scape powder, you can still, maybe I think you can see all the moisture coming up. We do it in a coffee grinder that we use specifically not for coffee, for just about everything but coffee. I'm just going to be cutting these, like I said, about 3 inches or so, and as we get them done, I'm not going to have you watch the whole time I cut them. We'll just spread them out pretty evenly, give some room for some air to get around them, and then they'll go in the dehydrator. I don't know how long these are going to take. I didn't write it down. I usually just check on them. So when all is said and done, I'll make sure I put that in the comments. And we'll be back when we're done chopping and dehydrating. Here's one of the trays of garlic scapes that dehydrated for approximately
12 hours.
12 hours. It depends on the temperature, the size of the pieces. It also depends on how much humidity is in the air. So it'll differ. I've seen some people cut them as small as a 1/4 inch and only dehydrate them for 6 hours. So now we're going to show you how we grind them up. Go ahead. This happens to be a Braun brand coffee grinder. I don't know that it matters. It just is what we got.
Now, I don't know if I should do percolator, drip, or espresso.
Espresso sounds so much more intense. You're spooking the cow. There's something spooking the cows.
I just want to see how it looks. It's getting there. It's going to take I don't want to burn out the motor, so I'm going to...
No, you just want to do that
little
until
shots.
you get a fine powder. As you can see, it's getting there. So there you go.